Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. All praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon His fine and Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, his household and his companions. My dear viewers, wherever you are, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you all and welcome back to our show, Every Word Counts. Today's verse, inshallah ta'ala, is as follows. It is from Surah Al-Hujuraat. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين واعلموا أن فيكم رسول الله لو يطيعكم في كثير من الأمر لعنتم ولكن الله حبب إليكم الإيمان وزينه في قلوبكم وكره إليكم الكفر والفسوق والعصيان أولئك هم الراشدون. This is our, inshallah ta'ala, focus for today, inshallah ta'ala. يا أيها الذين آمنوا, O who you believe, إذا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ, if a wrongdoer would come to you with some kind of news, فتبينوا, double check, investigate, فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة, in case you accuse some people on the basis of ignorance and then you will regret. فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادم واعلموا أن فيكم رسول الله, and know that you have amongst you the messenger of Allah. If he were to obey you, if he were to take your advice, whatever you say, everything you say, you will واعلموا أن فيكم رسول الله لو يطيعكم في كثير من الأمر لعنتم, you will find it so hard. ولكن الله حبب إليكم الإيمان, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made the belief, the iman, beloved to your hearts. وزينه في قلوبكم, and He beautified it in your hearts. حبب إليكم الإيمان وزينه في قلوبكم وكره إليكم الكفر والفسوق والعصيان, and He made disbelief and fusuq and wrongdoing and going against Allah's commands, He made it dislike to your hearts. وَكَرَّهَ إِلَيْكُمُ الْكُفْرَ وَالْفُسُوقَ وَالْعِصْيَانَ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الرَّاشِدُونَ. Indeed, those who are guided. So this is where we're going to be focused, inshallah ta'ala, today. And our first word, inshallah, to learn today is the word of fasiq. Fasiq means wrongdoer. In Arabic, fasiq. Let me write it for you actually. So we get used to the writing as well of Arabic. Fasiq. Fasiq. Okay. So that is fasiq. Fasiq, wrongdoer. It came from al-fisq. We say fisq, fusuq, wrongdoing. This word of fusuq came originally from the meaning of something is coming out of something. Something is coming out of it. It's like when you take the fruit out of its skin, when it comes off, anything that has a skin and it comes off, that is called fusuq. And that's why Arabs call the mouse, they call it fawaysiqa, because constantly coming out from its hole where it lives. So it keeps coming and harming people in their food and so on. So it's called fawaysiqa. So the person who's doing wrong deeds, he's a wrongdoer, okay, and he goes beyond the boundaries of Sharia, is called fasiq, with some other conditions as well. So that is our word here. So Allah is saying, if a person who is in this status, the person who is a wrongdoer, would to come to you with any kind of information, you have to double check, you have to examine before you say on the basis, before you judge on the basis of his words, and then you will accuse people without knowledge. So that is our first word. The second word is tabayyanu. Tabayyanu means examine and double check. تبينوا. Here we go. Okay. تبينوا. So that is the second word. It came from التبين. التبين means when you strive to find out the reality about something, the clarity. When you do your best to clarify things, that is called a tabayyun. It's examination. When you examine something to make sure that you are aware of it in all the angles. So that is the first. And subhanAllah, when you see this this pattern, tabayyana, like tafa'ala, it has, in Arabic, it has that heavy effort. You're not just doing something, you're actually making great effort to gain something. That is the pattern they use in Arabic. تفعل, تبين, تقدس, تعلم. So that pattern has that weight in it. Means not just doing something, but you are striving. You are doing your best. You are making too much effort to reach something that you are trying to achieve. That is the pattern that is used here. تبينوا. Not just find out, but he is saying, subhanahu wa ta'ala, make sure you do your best to find out, okay, before you judge on the basis of what you hear from wrongdoers. So our third word, inshallah, will be nadimin. Nadimin, let me write it first. Nadimin. Here we go. Nadimin. Nadimin, before you regret. From al-nadama. Nadama is the regret. So nadim, one person, we say nadim means he regrets. Plural, nadimun. Okay. The word is, in English, regret is a regret. But when you, in Arabic, you can change according to the number as well. If it's one person, you say nadim. If there are two, nadiman. If they are plural, nadimun. If they are plural women, female, nadimat, and so on. So that is our third word, inshallah. Now I'm going to read the verses, inshallah, for today, from which I want you to take or to look and see where these words are. Or very similar. It doesn't have to be the exact word, but it can be same word, but it's in it with some differences. So that's kind of test as well. So here's the first verse, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أفمن كان مؤمنا كمن كان فاسقا لا يستوون. That is our first verse. Second one, inshallah. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا ضربتم في سبيل الله فتبينوا ولا تقولوا لمن ألقى إليكم السلام لست مؤمنا تبتغون عرض الحياة الدنيا فعند الله مغانم كثيرة كذلك كنتم فمن الله عليكم فتبينوا إن الله كان بما تعملون خبيرا. That's our second verse. The third verse, inshallah, is as follows. فبعث الله غرابا يبحث في الأرض ليريه كيف يواري سوءة أخيه قال يا ويلتى أعجزت أن أكون مثل هذا الغراب فأواري سوءة أخي فكان من النادمين. Okay, so these are our three words for today, inshallah, tabaraka wa ta'ala. And I'm just going to repeat them quickly. We have fasiq, and we have tabayyanu, and we have nadimin. Fasiq, wrongdoer. Tabayyanu, double check, examine. Okay, and the third word is nadimin, those who regret. So these three words, inshallah ta'ala, I need you to go through them, just to go through the verses, see where these words are, inshallah, and then you can double check through the website, inshallah ta'ala, just to know that you got them correct, inshallah ta'ala. So now we're going to go for a break, inshallah, and then we're going to come back, inshallah ta'ala, to carry on with our tafsir of this verse, inshallah. So I'll let you go for now, and hopefully I see you after the break. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to our show, Every Word Counts. Now, inshallah, in this part 2, we're going to be going through some of the tafsir of these verse, inshallah ta'ala. This verse is establishing a moral lesson. Let me put it in that way. It came to fix one of the most dangerous social problems we have within us. When we act on the basis of misconceptions, when we judge people or things or thoughts on the basis of lack of knowledge. Just because we heard somebody saying such and such, we go and base the judgment on that. This verse came to fix that problem. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, oh you believe, in ja'akum fasiqun, if a wrongdoer comes to you with any kind of information, then you have to double check. You need to examine the statement or the news or the information you are hearing from this person before you act upon this information. Very important. If we were to act upon this ayah, this verse, and practice it, probably we'll avoid most of the problems we have within us, because we unfortunately judge upon what we hear, and then we just jump to conclusions and making, just making judgments, and when we are faced with the reality in the future, we regret. So the ayah, this verse, came to direct us and show us the right direction. Do not judge anything or anyone on the basis of anything until you make sure you examine that statement. Make sure it is authentic, make sure it is correct, and then judge upon it if you have to judge. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا. تبينوا means examine, double check, seek clarity. أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة. Otherwise, you will accuse some people on the basis of al-jahala, ignorance. Can you see? So Allah called, subhanahu wa ta'ala, called false information, the information that you have no certainty for, he called it al-jahala, ignorance. He called it ignorance, al-jahala. أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين, and you will regret. The consequence of it is you regret. And sometimes regret is too late. Many times we regret, but when it's too late, nothing you can fix. You already caused the harm. So you step back, don't act upon anything until you double check. The Prophet ﷺ been approached by a man. His name was Al-Harith ibn Abi Dirar al-Khuza'i. Al-Harith ibn Abi Dirar al-Khuza'i came to the Prophet ﷺ and he announced his Islam. He converted to Islam after asking questions about Islam. So he said, Ya Rasulullah, I'm going back to my people to call them to what we have called me to these blessings of Allah's Tawheed and Islam. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to gather charity from them for poor people, as zakat, the obligation zakat, the obligation charity. Okay, so he said, Ya Rasulullah, and then after a while, send me a man from you to give him the the zakat, the charity I gathered from people, so he can bring it to you here in Medina. So the man went to his tribe, he called people, he called them to Islam, many of them converted. He gathered the zakat, he said the charity, we need to pay zakat because it's an obligation for poor people. So he gathered the zakat, and then the Prophet ﷺ sent a man to him to collect the zakat from him. His name was Al-Walid ibn Uqba. Al-Walid ibn Uqba, when he came to the half of the way before he reached the Sahabi or the tribe, he went back to the Prophet ﷺ. He said, Ya Rasulullah, you know what happened? You know, Al-Harith, he actually left Tawheed, he left the faith, and he is gathering an army now to come and conquer Medina. Subhanallah. So the Prophet ﷺ said, Subhanallah, he came and he converted and he went to gather zakat for poor people, and then he's preparing an army to come to us. So the Prophet ﷺ was sent some of the Sahaba, the companions, some of the army of the Sahaba, with Khalid bin Walid as the leader, and he said to him, go to the tribe and see what they are doing. If they are preparing to come to us and harm us where we are, then deal with that. So Khalid bin Walid, when he went to the tribe, he found them normal. They said, no, nobody came to collect zakat. We already have the zakat and we're waiting for the man to come to bring the zakat to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Allah revealed this verse because of that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this verse because of that, telling Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and all the companions and the believers from that time to the day of resurrection that we should not follow misconceptions, we should not take what people say, wrongdoers, until we make sure that this statement is authentic. So we have to do our work to examine the statements we hear from people. And the verse, he said wrongdoers. If a wrongdoer, fasiq, a person who exposes al-haram, the person who is proud of doing wrong deeds, that is called al-fasiq. What about other people? If we consider this person is fasiq, can we take statement? No. We cannot take anything from anybody except if we examine the statement. Why? Because people at the time of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the believers, they would not lie and accuse people just like that. They would not do it. They would not do it. But nowadays, subhanallah, we've got a lot of lies, a lot of cheating, a lot of, just name it. Following our desires, we end up doing wrong things. So anybody brings you any statement, we have to examine that statement. We cannot base the judgment on information that it is plain and has no evidence of authenticity. This will bring us to talk about family as well. Okay, I came across, as a person who works in family counseling, I came across many cases that relate to what we are talking about today here. We find people, they are members of one family, but because there is a conflict amongst them, they start accusing each other, and they're accusing them with false accusations just to gain something. Because there's a conflict, there's a problem between the husband and the wife, so she is starting to add things that are not true, or he's trying to add things that are not true. Basically, they lie against each other to win the children or to win family or whatever the conflict is about. This is not correct. That's our advice to ourselves and to everyone, sisters and brothers. We should be very, very clear and be truthful. When there is a problem within the family, don't get children mainly involved in the problem. We see many people do this. If we really, really take our deen into consideration, then we have to fear Allah. We cannot lie about the other person because we want to win the case. I came across children, sometimes some of the cases I have in my office, they have conflicts with their parents, one of their parents, because they've been told by the other parent something that is not correct about this parent, whether the mother or the father. So the children now take hold grudge, take an action against the parent on the basis of wrong information, because they believed that my parents, whether mother or father, will not lie to me about my other parents. So they took that as a source of trust, and they said, okay, my dad did such and such, or my mother did such and such, on the basis of that. We say to everyone, even children, try not to get involved in the family conflicts. If your dad were to say to you anything about your mom, don't take that into consideration. If you have to deal with it, and you are old enough, then you have to examine by going to that parent and say to them, ask, did you do such and such? Did you say such and such? That is very important. Don't base the judgment on the basis of what you hear from the other parents because you think they won't lie to you. Because people do follow their desires. Okay? Especially if there's conflict in the court, people trying to win a case or something. I came across many cases in this kind. Don't. Yes, your mother is your mother, your father is your father, but don't take whatever they say against each other before you examine. The best way to examine is to go and ask the parents. Clearly, plainly, with respect, is this the case? Tell me, what is the story? What is your side of the story? And let the parent explain to you. Wallahi, somebody came to my office, a boy, he was like 16, around 16. He hasn't seen his dad for about 10, 11 years. When he came to me asking about something, I said to him, are you sure that your dad ran away and he didn't want you? He said, yeah, because my mother said. I said, no, did he say to you this? Did you look for him? Did you ask him? He said, no. I said, do you know where your dad is? He said, no, I know he's around here, but I haven't seen him. I said, no, go and search for him and talk to him. Okay, so he went, he started looking for his father, he found him. He found his dad and he spoke to him. 2-3 weeks later, he came to my office with his father saying to me, may Allah reward you, you gave me the right advice. What I've been told of my dad was totally incorrect. There are two sides of the story, and now at least I gathered the picture and I know what happened in the past. So, alhamdulillah, what I'm trying to say here is that we need to judge on the basis of the truth. We should not follow, misconceptions. It's just because the person who's given us the information is somebody that we trust or we like. You always give people benefit of doubt. Don't judge. Don't jump into conclusions. Go and ask. Take your time. Allah will not judge you or hold you responsible if you don't take your time. No, go and take your time. When you gain the certainty, then you can act upon that. That is a lesson for us and for everybody, just to be very protective when it comes to judging people and things. We have too much crime happening, all based on this false information. All based on this. They would give them some wrong information from here or from that side, and they go and commit crime, and they regret afterwards. You always examine. The time is finished for this session, inshallah ta'ala. I hope, inshallah, I see you in next episode. But before we go, I just want to remind you, make sure you go to the website, download the flashcards, as I always say, and use the app as well, inshallah ta'ala, and make sure you use these words, talk about them, communicate through them, and get connected with the Quran al-Kareem. And I see you, inshallah ta'ala, next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.